Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bhai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Everyone together. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare. One more time, a little bit louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances of Krishna Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 36. The chapter is entitled, How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. We'll be hearing from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Without further delay, we will start the class. Hare Krishna.
We were in verse 36 of chapter 16. Tayor evam katayato Prithvi Dharmayos Tada Parikshin Nama Rajarshi Prapta Prachim Saraswatim Tayorevam Katayatolyo Taror Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Praptak prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Praptak prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Praptak prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Praptak prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayoreva katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmasyataro.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Shaninam rajasim.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Patipa prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshim rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Prapta prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostara.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Praptak prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayorevam katayato.
Tayorevam katayato.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Prithvi dharmayostada.
Pariksinam rajarshi.
Parikshinam rajarshi.
Prapta prachim saraswatim.
Praptak prachin saraswatim.
Tayo. Between them.
Between them.
Evam. Thus. Katayato.
Katayato.
Engaged in conversation.
Engaged in conversation.
Prithvi.
Prithvi.
Earth. Dharmayo.
Dharmayo.
And the personality of religion.
And the personality of religion.
Tada.
Tada.
At that time.
At that time.
Parikshit.
Parikshit.
King Parikshit.
King Parikshit.
Nama. Of the name.
Of the name.
Rajarshi.
Rajarshi.
A saint amongst the kings.
A saint amongst the kings.
Prapta. Arrived. Prachim.
Prachin.
Flowing towards the east.
Flowing towards the east.
Saraswatim.
Saraswatim.
The river Saraswati.
River Saraswati.
Translation. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly king Maharaj Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east.
So we are discussing the conversation between Mother Earth and Dharmaraj. The subject matter was that the earthly planet was very much morose on account of arrival of of Kali Yuga to be discussed. So, we have discussed the symptoms of Kali Yuga. This is called Kali Yuga. As there are seasonal changes, similarly, in the duration of this material existence, there are seasonal changes that everyone has got experience. There is summer, there is winter, there is fall, there is spring. So generally, the seasonal changes are accepted as Sattva Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. Just like in each year we have got different season changes, and each millennium there are so many changes of Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Sattva Yuga. So, Sattva Yuga means the age of truthfulness. Sattva means truthfulness. And Kali Yuga means the age of disagreement. The age of disagreement. So at the present moment, we are in the Kali Yuga. Everyone disagrees with the other. In the so-called disciple also disagrees with the spiritual. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. One becomes disciple of a spiritual master, and then he whimsically disagrees. So, why, if you disagree, why should you accept somebody as spiritual master? That is not very good. That is the way of not being successful. We are chanting every day that Jasya Prasadad Bhagavat Prasad. By satisfying the spiritual master, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. Jasya Prasada, by the satisfaction of the spiritual master. Samsaradava nalali lopatrana karana. One of the symptoms is this. The spiritual master is so bona fide. Before accepting somebody as spiritual master, you must know about his bona fides. That time is allowed. It is said in the Shastra that if you like to accept somebody as spiritual master, you should associate with him at least for 1 year. See how things are going. If you follow, of course, others, that is also good. But personally, it is advised that you just remain with the proposed spiritual master for at least 1 year. So that the spiritual master is also giving chance to study you, whether you are accepted. This is the process. But when one leaves a spiritual master, the spiritual master, there may be some reason. That reason is also given in the Shastra. Gurumapi abbaliptasya karja karjam ajanatam karjam akarjam. If the spiritual master does not know what is actually to be done, what is actually not to be done, and he acts against the rules and regulations of the Shastra, then such spiritual master may be given up. But so long you do not find the spiritual master is doing against the principles of Shastra or Guru, then if you give up the company of spiritual master, that is not good for you. That is your downfall. First of all, you must take sufficient time to study the movements of a spiritual master. The spiritual master is one, the spiritual master. Because there may be many spiritual masters, but if their business is one, to satisfy Krishna, although there are many, they are one. Although there are many, they are still one. The principle is one, to satisfy Krishna. So such is the position of spiritual master, that Jasya prasadad bhagavat prasad. If you try to please your spiritual master, then God, Krishna, becomes pleased. That is natural. So, in the Kali Yuga, why there should be, in the Kali Yuga, even with the spiritual master, there is disagreement. That is due to influence of Kali. That is my point. So this influence of Kali Yuga has been discussed in so many pages in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And last it was discussed that the good qualification of a human being, I am speaking because amongst the living entities, human being is considered to be the highest. So the Mother Earth was lamenting that people have lost their good qualification. They cannot be lost, but it is by the influence of Kali Yuga, it is now common. Sattam, Samam, Daya, 26 nice qualification. We have discussed all this thing. Yeah. Sattam Shaucham Daya Khantis Tyago Santusha Arjavam Samodamastapashyamam Titikho Uparati Sutam Gyanam Virakti Raishajjang Shorjang Teja Balang Smritihi Satantram Kaushalam Kanti Yajjang Mardam Evacha. So, on account of this Kali Yuga, the good qualification of human society will be lost. Thinking this, future or the present age, Mother Earth was lamenting and talking with Dharmaraj. So at that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Parikshit arrived on that spot. This is the verse. Tayorimam kathayato. While the Dharmaraj and the earthly planet was talking between themselves, Prithvi, Tayoreva kathayato, Prithvi, the earthly planet, and Dharmayos sada. Tada, at that time, Parikshit Nama Rajarsi. Parikshit Nama Rajarsi. There are many Rajarsis. Rajarsi means, although they are occupying the royal position, Raja and Praja. Raja means king or the ruler. Here is also regulated means. why a king is accepted, why a governor is accepted, why a president is, even in these days of democracy, they have abolished the system of monarchy, but still they select somebody to become a monarch, a king, or to occupy the post of the king. That is called president. Why? Because unless there is one head, or on the head of the government, who can actually control. Control means whether citizens are following, executing the rules and regulations, the law of the state. Therefore, a certain man, qualified man, who enjoys the confidence of the people, he is accepted as the king. This is the president. So, such president, king, or the executive head must be a saintly person. Therefore, here it is said, Parikshit Namo Rajarsi. Rajarsi means those who are on the top of the government, he must be rishi, saintly person. Just like this, our Krishna consciousness movement. The head of the institution must be a saintly person. Otherwise, how he can become a controller? Controller there must be. That what is the qualification of the controller? He must be a saintly person. He must know what is the principle of life, what is the value of life, why one should be controlled by somebody else. These things are required to become qualified. So, Maharaj Parikshit Nama Rajarsi, in those days all the kings were like saintly persons. They were not ordinary persons. Why saintly person required? Because a saintly person means he knows what is actually good and what is not good. The actually good of human life is that he is engaged in developing devotional service. There is actually good. In other place, this Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Savai Pumsang Paro Dharma Jato Bhakti Radhukhavi. Paro Dharma. Paro means superior, transcendental, or which is Paro and Aparo. Boro and Oboro, these words are used. Boro means greater, and Oboro means lower, and Poro means superior, and Oporo means inferior. Here it is spoken. There are many types of religious system, but they are oporo, not very good, inferior type. Religion cannot be inferior, but it is sometimes made into inferiority, because without such kind inferior type of religion, the inferior class of man will not accept. Will not accept. Just like in religious system, in any religious system, the killing of animal, there is, in every religious system, there is. But why there is this killing of a living entity is not good. But why in the religious system there is permission for killing animals? So that is explained. The explanation is that a person who is staunch meat eater. He cannot give up meat eating. So, at the same time, he wants to be religious. This is the position. So, for such person, it is enjoyed. Just like a Vedic sister. All right, if you want to eat meat, at the same time you want to become religious, then you worship Goddess Kali. You cannot worship Vishnu. Because he is a meat eater, he cannot approach Pavitra Paramam Bhava. The Supreme Personality is the supreme pure. So this meat eater is impure. He cannot approach the pure. That is not possible. Therefore, he is advised to approach some agent of the pure, some Shakti, just like Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali is the Shakti or the agent, potency. Kali has got also business to cut the heads of the demons. You have seen the Goddess Kali's picture in Mundamala. She is garlanded with the heads of the demons. Have you seen?
I have seen Kali too.
Yeah. But her business is to cut the heads of the demons. And she is carrying one head in this hand, and in this hand she is carrying a chopper, and her business is to cut the heads of the demons. But she is also the agent of the Supreme Personality of God. How she is agent? Because God has got two business. Paritranam sadhuna vilasaya cha duskita. Duskitina mudha naradhava maya prithagyana asuri bhavamasthita. For them, the Goddess Kali is engaged to cut their heads, kill them. That is also Krishna's agent. Vinashaya cha duskita, they have to be finished. But by finishing them, they are also elevated. Finishing means finishing their sinful activities. Finishing their sinful activities. Just like, it is very easy to understand. Just a person who has committed murder, the state law is finishing, otherwise he will commit another murder. If he is encouraged, therefore, by finishing him, there are two purposes. One purpose is served, that because he has done something very grievous, sinful activity, by sacrificing his own life, he becomes relieved from the sinful works. That is the law in the Manusangita. I am not manufacturing. A murderer is condemned to death just to save him from many the following resultant action of sinful activities. Even in this life, he gives his life for life. Then he saves. In the next life, he takes his birth clean, not suffering anymore on account of the sinful act. This is the statement in Manusangita. Another instruction is that if this murderer is killed, then he will be saved from committing again murder. So, the vinashaya cha duskita, when a demon is killed, then he is saved, the people are saved, and everything is good. But people cannot understand that why God is killing the demons and giving protection to the devotee. God is equal to everyone. Krishna said, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name deshasti na priya. Krishna says that I am equal to everyone. If God is not equal to everyone, then how he can be God? His God, who is equal. Nami deshasti na priya. So when God is killing somebody and God is patting somebody, that does not mean he has got two equal behavior for two persons. No. His behavior is the same, affection. But to kill this demon means to stop him from further sinful activities and give him release from the sinful activity he has done. Therefore it is his mercy. But one has to study very carefully. Because God is absolute, there is no difference between his activities, killing a demon and giving protection to a devotee. He is giving protection to the demon also by killing him. But one cannot understand. So, in this Kali Yuga, Rajarsi, this Rajarsi is saintly person. Now we will find this Parikshit Maharaj, as soon as he will find that one demon is trying to kill another cow, he immediately took his sword. If he is a rishi, one may inquire that if he is a saintly person, how is that he is going to kill another person? So killing is not always bad. But it is not to be judged by you. It is to be judged by the same saintly person. Where killing is required, where not killing is required. So that is the qualification of the Kshatriya. Kshatriya means one who gives protection. It's like when there is attack in a country, the king or the president gives protection to the citizen by killing the enemies. So his business is to give protection to the citizen. So it may be sometimes by killing others he gives protection. We have discussed many times the violence and non-violence. These are contradictory terms. But when these two contradictory things are found in saintly person, we must know they are all the same, absolute. And what to speak of when these actions are found in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. That is the absolute nature. Absolute, to understand the absolute nature means 2 plus 2 equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 1 and 1 minus 1 equal to 1. This is absolute understanding. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyati. Purnasya Purnamadaya. 1 is complete number. Purna. Purnasya Purnamadaya. And if you take away complete 1, still it is 1. This is absolute understanding. It is not that 1 has been taken away from 1, therefore it has become 0. No, that is material. That is relative. So, Parikshit Nama Rajarsi Prachim Saraswati. In India, all the rivers, they are coming from the Himalaya, western side, and flowing towards the eastern side, going to the Bay of Bengal. The Prachim, flowing to the eastern side, Saraswati. This is also one of the famous rivers. There are many rivers in India, especially very sacred rivers, Ganges, Jamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, Narmada, like that. Each river is considered very sacred. So it is understood that Parikshit Maharaj met the Dharmaraj and the earthly planet talking together on the bank of the river Saraswati. That's all.
I have a simple question. Is Dharmaraj King Yudhisthira?
Yudhisthira is the son of Dharmaraj. He is the son. Maharaj Yudhisthira was begotten by Dharmaraj.
Vidura was also in the...
No, Vidura was begotten by Vyasdev.
He was also Dharmaraj?
No. You are not. Oh, yes. You are right.
He was
Yes, Dharmaraj.
Jamaraj.
Yes. And by the cursing of some great rishi, he became a Shudra. Yes. I thought that you were asking whether Vidura was begotten by Dharmaraj. No. He is Dharmaraj. Many questions. What is the name of that boy?
Sanjay.
Dhananjay.
Sanjay.
Sanjay?
Yes.
Who has given you this name?
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada.
Sanjay, Uvacha. Sanjay is
Having heard your wondrous dialogue, Srila Prabhupada, my hair is standing on end.
what is that?
Having heard your holy dialogue, Srila Prabhupada, my hair is standing on end, like Sanjay says in the Gita.
What is that? Special. Which portion?
This is the last slokas of Bhagavad Gita when he's relating the conversation to Dhritarashtra, the final conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, saying, after hearing this holy dialogue, my hair is standing on end.
Oh.
In Bhagavad Gita.
You want to know about something? About that verse?
No, I just stated that after hearing your lecture, Srila Prabhupada.
Every instruction is like that. We should follow the instruction. And if we cannot understand, then consult the spiritual master. And not to give up this association of the spiritual master and interpret in your own way. That is asking. Don't do that. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti tadgyanam jnanina tattvadarshana. If there is any doubt in understanding the Vedic literature, then you try to understand from the person who knows it, tattvadarshana, who has seen actually the truth. Upadekshanti tadgyanam jnanina tattvadarshana. One has actually seen the truth. And how to approach him? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena. By surrendering, by giving service and questioning. Question must be preceded and followed by, preceded by surrender and followed by service. In the middle, there may be question. Therefore, just saprasadad bhagavat prasad. We have to please the spiritual master by service and surrender. And then it will be very nice position. And the spiritual master sees that this disciple is a surrender. So, and he is rendering service to his best capacity. Then the answer will be very liberal and convincing, and he will be very glad to answer the question. If it is supported by these two things, surrender and pariprasnena and shubhaya. Tadvidhi panipatena. The first beginning is panipat. And what is this? That I give up the company of my spiritual master and I invent my own ways of life and own interpretation, that will not happen. That will not happen.
The war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that lasted for a period of 18 days?
Yeah.
And that happened 5,000 years ago when Krishna was on earth. Is that happening now in some other material universe? The same battle?
Yes.
Can we enter into that or see that?
Yeah, if you go there.
We leave the universe, but then we are associating directly with Krishna and Arjuna?
Yeah, you can associate with Krishna and Arjuna every 24 hours.
Just
by reading Bhagavad Gita. Why you require to go there? It is already here, you see. You read the Bhagavad Gita and you are immediately in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He is instructing. That was the instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. And you know that story? Illiterate Brahman was reading Bhagavad Gita. So he did not know. He was not literate. But because his spiritual master, he has so staunch faith in the spiritual master. His spiritual master said that you read daily 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. His spiritual master knew that he was illiterate. But still he asked, you read 18 chapters daily. So what can you do? Spiritual master has an order. So you are simply making a show, reading, like this. So his other friends were criticizing. Mr. Satan said, how we are reading Bhagavad Gita. He knows that this friend is criticizing him. So he did not answer. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked me, my dear Brahman, what you are reading, he knew that this gentleman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is really inquisitive. So he explained the whole thing, that I am trying to read Bhagavad Gita, but I am illiterate. My Guru Maharaj ordered me to read, therefore I am reading. But actually I cannot read. Frankly, I this is staunch faith in spiritual master. He knew, his spiritual master knew that he is illiterate. And he knew also that I cannot read Bhagavad Gita. But still he was trying to read because his spiritual master has said. This is called staunch faith. Jasya prasada. He has said, I have to satisfy him. I am incompetent. I cannot read. But he has said, therefore I must read. And this is called Jasya prasada, Bhagavad prasada. So, practical example, just like this Krishna consciousness movement, and I am an insignificant human being, what can I do? But I tried my best because my spiritual master says that you go and try to preach in English. So I tried my best. That's all. I had no qualification. So this is very nice point. Jasya prasada. We have to try our best to, I may not be able to do that, but that endeavor will be appreciated by Krishna and the spiritual master. That is it. I may be most incompetent. Everyone is incompetent. Who can satisfy Krishna? This unlimited. But simply what Krishna says, if we do, that will satisfy. Krishna says, Manmana bhavamad bhakta vasjari mang namaskuru. The guidance is the spiritual master. He orders that Manmana, always think of me. Bhavamad bhakta, just become my devotee. Worship me and offer your obeisances unto me. Now here is the duty. So That is our business. Think of always, here is Radha and Krishna, here is Jagannath, here is Lord Chaitanya. What is the difficulty? In the temple, we get direct contact. And if I go away from the temple and lie down on the station, is that very good thing? Krishna says, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta. So will it help me to think of him 24 hours by going to the railway station or in the temple? This is common sense. Any sensible man can understand that here is Krishna, here is Radharani, worship is going on, devotees are offering prasadam, or they are constantly engaged. And that is Manmana Bhakta. Or I give up the association of the devotees and temple and go to hell. That will help. It is common sense. I manufacture my own way, like the advice of some another rascal. This is not good. This is very good. Manmana bhavamad bhakta madhyajimang namaskuru. Always think of me. Where is the chance? As soon as I see, as I advance in my spiritual life, I will see, here is Krishna. It is not the doll Krishna. Doll Krishna is for the Kanishtadikari. But one who is advanced, he sees Krishna. Just like you have read the story of in Chaitanya Charitamrita, two Brahmins went to Vrindavan. So, the devotee is saying, here is Krishna. When the older Brahmin said that I promise, so the younger said, you are talking before Krishna, my name. If you deviate from this promise, it will be great offense. Because you are seeing Krishna. And when he was asked, who was your witness? He said, Krishna was witness. And his eldest son took the opportunity. All right, if your Krishna comes and gives witness, then my sister will be married. Because he is atheist. He was thinking Krishna is not coming. Krishna is not coming. It is made a marble statue. How Krishna comes? So he thought that I have given him some chance which will never be fulfilled. But to fulfill the words of the devotee, Krishna came. Therefore he is called Sakhi Gopal, witness Gopal. So we must have faith. We must have faith and discharge duties according to the Shastra, Guru, Sadhu. Then our spiritual life is guaranteed. If we manufacture something out of things, that will not help us. This is the point.
Srila Prabhupada, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it stated that the super soul is measured from the end of the thumb to the end of the ring finger. How does this change take place in the different sizes of species of living entities in this material creation?
He can become the smaller than the smallest, and the higher than the bigger than the biggest. That is Krishna's power. So you can go.
A beautiful lecture by Srila Prabhupada again, as always. Yes, Mother Geeta, please go ahead, Mother.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Accept mine, Mother.
So, I have heard and even read that when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. Well, this is the first time I heard. When you read Bhagavad Gita, you're associating with Krishna and Arjuna. That was like, wow. Never thought of that in those terms. Only used to think, yes, associating with Prabhupada by reading his books. And the second point that, of course, many points, but I'll give an opportunity to others to speak also. But what was very comforting was that Krishna, he sees our endeavors. It doesn't matter whether we are successful or not. So thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Yes, that was also my, realization when, when when Sri Prabhupada was telling this devotee, you don't need to go there. You can just do it right here. I was like, whoa, so just reading Bhagavad Gita is like associating with Krishna and Arjuna. Such a beautiful words by Sri Prabhupada. Very, very amazing. Thank you, Mother. Thank you so much. Yes, Prikshit, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, peace and stuff on with this. Since it's
Except mine of
all
Sri
goes to
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. Yes, wonderful lecture. But if Prabhu does not mind it, I mean, Vishnu I see he's on. He can make some comments about this.
Oh, yes.
It'd be very,
Vishnugata
very,
Prabhu,
very
please,
nice.
Prabhu, accept my obeisances.
Hare
August
Krishna.
Prabhupada, Prabhu. If you would like to shed some light, give us words of wisdom.
I'm
Very
sorry.
little light to share.
I'm sorry, Prabhu.
I came over and
you.
Chandramali Swami is giving class in Philadelphia, but the audio was not working. So I switched over here in the middle. I apologize. That's what happened. But I go along. I like what you all said. And it was very interesting. Prabhupada said in one place, he said, we are all incompetent. We are all incompetent. So, I like to think I'm competent in doing this and doing that. But he said, compared to Krishna, what can you do for Krishna? So all those things that we think we're doing very nicely or whatever, for Krishna, they're we're not doing things so well. But he accepts our serious our endeavor and our sincerity. Is the verse Bhavagrahi Janardana. He accepts your intentions more. Yeah. Even to the point where when Putana approached him as a mother with a mixed intention, he still accepted the good part. So, that's fine. No problem. I came in the middle anyway, so it's okay. Mother Gita, don't worry.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Actually, we're very happy that you joined us because it's so nice to have a proper disciple online to shed some light and guide us and share, your thoughts so we can learn from you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was Jayadvaita Swami who asked a question about going to the universe where Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita.
Oh,
That's interesting.
This is wow. Okay, that was Maharaj. Okay, that was okay.
And this is of course he was still brahmachari at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. He was clarifying, and another point is he's clarifying because at that point, this was 1974. He was also editing some of the books, so he would often ask questions for clarification to Srila Prabhupada directly like that. It's good to know.
Very interesting. That joins this joins the point that Mother Gita was making, because Srila Prabhupada answered it that why do you have to go to another planet? If you read the Bhagavad Gita, you're associated with Krishna and Arjuna directly, by reading Bhagavad Gita. And that was the point that Mother Gita was making, that she hadn't thought about it that way.
Great point. And also there was the brief exchange where they were talking about Vidura being actually Yamaraj or Dharmaraj, and Lord and Yudhishthira Maharaj being the son of Dharmaraj, and then the bull is also Dharmaraj. So we got, but at the same time, there was a Dharmaraj in the heavenly planets at the time, which is a very interesting point because, when the demigods accompanied by Bhumi went to the shore of the ocean of milk, Brahma sat in meditation and he got a message to his heart saying, okay, demigods, you all take birth because the Lord is coming soon. You all take birth on the earth and assist him in his mission, along with your wives, in fact. So did they do that?
Good question. But I was going to have you finish and then ask a question about it. Because the whole thing about taking birth in the Yadu dynasty,
Yes.
so if a demigod takes birth, then is this an expansion of the demigod that's come? Because the demigod is still where he is at. I wanted clarity on that too.
Yeah, so we find in did Lord Brahma take birth in the Yadu dynasty? Did Vayu take birth in the Yadu dynasty? Did Indra take birth in the Yadu dynasty? Or associated? I mean, the Yadu dynasty was there from Yadu, and then Surashena was there, and then his daughter was Kunti, right? So Kunti was brought up by Kunti Bhoja and then married Pandu. And then, so in a sense, the Arjun, Bhima, they were all part of the Yadu dynasty from their mother's side. Does that make sense? That makes sense, yeah. Because so it's said in the, what's that called? The Garga Samhita.
Yes.
That the demigods were, many of them were their expansions. They expanded to take birth, and they didn't leave their posts.
Yeah.
In order to go to participate in the pastimes. So apparently the demigods can expand as devotees. But then Vidura, what about him? Why couldn't he just Yamaraj just expand? Apparently he can expand.
Prabhu,
But
is it because he was cursed?
apparently the curse must have included that point. I mean, it's not stated specifically, but it must have included the point that he couldn't just expand himself. He had to come personally. So then there was a replacement Yamaraj during the time he was on Earth.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay.
So those demigods that took birth in the Yadu dynasty, they could expand then. In fact, you mentioned
Yamaraj.
Gargasamhita.
Except Yamaraj.
Somehow
Okay.
he couldn't do it. It must have been part of the curse. Yeah. I mean, I've never read that anywhere, so it's a bit speculative, but that's what we see. You follow. Because Yamaraj had to take birth, and it said that he had a replacement. So if he could expand himself, why does he need a replacement?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So anyway, interesting point. So then, yeah, it's funny.
Actually, if I remember correctly, reading in the Gargasamhita, the Lord Brahma definitely was in the Yadu dynasty in Dwarka.
Yes, yeah.
And he was in fact playing the role of Aniruddha.
Yes.
Okay, so
that's also that part
that
is
was Brahma.
mentioned. That's also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's not, yeah.
That's interesting. I guess so.
Wow.
So Yamaraj was playing a lot of different parts and roles in this the activities when Lord Krishna was present on the earth in different ways. He was the father of Yudhishthir, who was one of the Pandavas. He was Vidura also, right? Yeah. And he came here at this time with Parikshit Maharaj. He also came to question Yudhishthir at the end of his 12 years in exile, in the form of a yaksha, crane, a yaksha, and to question him. That must have been the replacement Yamaraj.
I was gonna say, was that the replacement Yamaraj? Okay.
Must have been because Vidura was already there. He was present on the earth, and yeah.
So Prabhu, a question here, Prabhu. So here Shri Prabhupada is saying that Vidura is Yamaraj, but Yamaraj and Dharmaj, is that one and different, or expansion, Prabhu?
He's explaining as they're the same here. Of course, sometimes Maharaj Yudhishthira is also addressed as Dharmaraj. So it doesn't have to be, I mean, just like a Rajarshi, that can apply to different people, but usually it's usually applied to Yamaraj. But because Yudhishthira Maharaj was such a saintly king following the laws of Dharma, he's also sometimes given the name Dharma.
Yeah.
So depending on the context, different situation.
Okay. Okay. Now that's clear. Okay. Prabhu, I'm so glad you joined us because you answered our questions. Krishna's arrangement that Chandamai Swami speakers didn't work.
And the Swami's lecture will be on YouTube too later. So
Yeah,
people
but
can-
Krishna arranged for Vishwagada Prabhu to join to clarify a few things for us that we were not quite clear. So that was
yes,
really nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
discussions are always very nice.
Yes, we learned so much.
They're fun.
What I liked about this lecture by Srila Prabhupada was not once, not twice, but I lost count, but many times he was really, really addressing the point of, following the Guru's instructions, Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prashad, like over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Just strong reminder.
Jayadvaita Swami used to give an example of that in the classes, because when I was a new devotee in New York, he was the one giving classes most of the time, he and Mother Jadurani. So he would always give this example of a devotee. Srila Prabhupada sent some audio tape dictations to be transcribed to wherever his transcriber was. So he put it in a little package. And apparently there was a little, it was from a little opening in the package. So he gave it to a disciple to mail, and the disciple came back and said, Srila Prabhupada, it's open a little bit. Can't you just wrap it better? And Prabhupada said, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. And so then the devotee went again. But he came back a second time and he said, no, but it's open a little bit, can he? So Prabhupada, then he said, banged his hand on the table and said, what the spiritual master has done has requested, has said is perfect. You should follow. That's it. Very interesting. Now they're different. They're different interpretations of what happened. I read what that devotee said. I don't exactly remember the devotee who actually was trying to correct Srila Prabhupada. But another devotee told me that package was being sent from India. And in India, if there's a package, if it's open a little bit, then people will see what it is, and they won't. Sometimes people will take it or steal it. So if they see that it's just a audio tape, they're not going to bother with it. So that was another person's take on it, which is, interesting. Whatever he says is correct. Yes. Boom.
Very powerful, Prabhu. That was a powerful, because I think this is one of the lectures that at least for me, I've never heard Srila Prabhupada mention that, stress that point so much, like in one lecture, over and over. Yeah, because he talked about like 4 lines about the holy rivers in India, and the rest of the lecture was just guru discipleship, pretty much.
And also the what Krishna does to a person, whether it's punishing him or her, and or benedicting them, it's the same. It's still good for the person. That's an important thing for me to remember, because sometimes we get stuff that I get experiences that seem negative. So, but Krishna is the supreme. He knows best.
Prabhu,
Sometimes we have to get a puri.
That was a point for me too, because sometimes we go through it, I go through it, and I've asked, and the voice have said, oh, but Mataji, why does Krishna do bad things to me? And Srila Prabhupada is saying that it's actually a blessing, and it's just how we see it. I think is how we
Everything Krishna does, it's absolutely good.
Yeah, I have to just train my mind more and more to see it, because Srila Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is not being favorable. I mean, he's not being partial.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a powerful statement for me to remember all the time. Yeah, because sometimes our mind says the other one, the negative one.
All the time says, my first reaction is that way.
Yes, that was a powerful, and whenever Srila Prabhupada explains lectures, Prabhupada, it's so simple and so like straightforward. There's no rounding about. It's like so straightforward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so simple and so to the point is like, whoa, Prabhupada, only you could say make it so simple and
Yes.
so easy to understand. But Prabhupada, I was thinking that, because Srila Prabhupada's lectures are so simple and straightforward, that's why so many devotees were just got to him like magnets.
Yes, and yeah, sure, definitely, and also because he practiced what he was preaching too. Both things. He was always ready to preach at any time. He would, if someone came to his door. There's a story that you know Shamak Rishi and Kaivalya.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhupada.
Yeah. So they were doctors in Philadelphia, doing a residency or something in Philadelphia. They heard, oh, this is like 1972, that Srila Prabhupada is in Brooklyn. So they decided one day, together they drove spontaneously to New York. Prabhupada was in Brooklyn at the time, and they arrived like at 2:00 in the afternoon. Just they wanted to see. They didn't call ahead or anything. So they arrived at the temple, and of course, Srila Prabhupada usually took a brief nap in the afternoon right at that time. So they went to Prabhupada's quarters, and they knocked, and Prabhupada's servant said, "Oh, no, you can't see him. He's resting now. You have to come back." So they were a little shocked and a little unhappy. They'd come all this way, 2-hour drive. And so, but just then Prabhupada walked in and said, "Okay, no, I'll see them. No, I'll see them." So he invited them and preached to them, and now 50 years later, they're continuing to do devotional service. He was so accessible to so many people. He made himself accessible, and in addition to, as you said, his preaching being straightforward, easy to understand.
I did not know that Sham Rishi and his brother Kaivalya Prabhu actually met Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
And I've been thinking about it. Sometimes we look at these things in different ways, but I mean, if I'd have gone to the door and knocked, I wouldn't have gotten in. I was there at the time. But it's very interesting. Srila Prabhupada did it for them. I was just a devotee there. But I mean, if I really had to see Srila Prabhupada, I'm sure. But still, it's very interesting that.
Wow, mercy just flows. Srila Prabhupada was so merciful. Amazing. We are so glad you joined us, Prabhu. Really, Krishna's arrangement that we could all hear nectar from you, Prabhu. That's so nice. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Are there other devotees that would like to share a takeaway? I know we're all enjoying Vishwagata Prabhu's shedding of light and pastimes, because we're just I mean, I know I am, and I'm assuming every one of us here are. So we're grateful that he's with us here. But would like to ask if any one of you would like to share something, a takeaway that you've gotten from Srila Prabhupada's lecture, a thought, a reflection. Please do unmute yourself and share. Would like to hear from the others, or you can put it in the chat if you're not able to speak. And going down the list. And if there isn't, we thank you all so much. And Vishwagata Prabhu, we can't thank you enough for joining Impromptu. It's so nice. It's so nice to hear more from a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada to add more light to it. And we thank all the devotees for joining us. Vanchakapatibhyascha, Kripasindhabhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful day, devotees. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.